Today, we are going to be talking about the final walkthrough, why we do a final walkthrough, why this is so important if you're buying a home, and then we're going to share a few stories of some things that we've run into over the years. First and foremost, the purchase agreement says that the buyer has the right to do a final walkthrough of the property to make sure that the property is in substantially the same condition. What does that mean? It means that before the buyer goes and signs those papers and turns over their funds, they have a right to come through, take a look at the house, and make sure that the refrigerator wasn't removed if that was a part of the purchase agreement, or that there aren't big gashes in the walls from when the seller moved out. They have a right to make sure the property is in reasonably good and the same condition as it was when they made that offer.
What we'll talk about today is maybe funny. It's funny now, maybe not at the time, but just a couple stories of what's happened at a couple of our final walkthroughs. And we sold over 1,000 homes on the seller side and the buyer side, so we've seen a lot of these final walkthroughs. And if you've worked with me on a purchase of a house, I'll almost always tell you these couple stories when we're doing our final walkthrough. So the first one, and these happened
years ago.
One happened years ago.
Yeah.
Doing a final walkthrough, representing the buyer. Very normal. Talk to the listing agent beforehand. Everything is set up, ready to close. We're closing midday. Doing the final walkthrough about 9 a.m. Meet my client at the house. This one was a condo here south of the river, and go up to the condo. Open the front door just like normal. Gonna grab the key, take it to the final to the closing, and we start looking around and like, are we in the wrong unit? Are we in the wrong building? Because it's like no one's ever touched anything. It's like somebody's living there. Obviously, we leave. We come back in 1 minute later, just making sure it was the same unit it was. And apparently, what happened was this was a rental unit, and the landlord and the agent weren't on the same page, and the landlord did not tell the tenant and the renter that they were closing that day. So who knows when they said they were closing, but how we found this out is when we walked through into the first bedroom, and there was the tenant sleeping in there. So that's always a fun way to find out that they're not really ready to move. And needless to say, that final walkthrough made our closing not happen that day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we've also seen other variations of things where, again, the seller has been in the process of moving out, delayed, and now we've got a house that hasn't been cleaned. And that's a whole other discussion, how cleaning factors into a purchase agreement, if it does or does not. We'll cover that in the future. But we've also seen cases where the house is in beautiful condition, but we have a water heater that has left water all over the basement. So sometimes these things need to be rectified right before closing.
Yeah. And there's always little stories when we're doing our final walkthroughs. Things ring a bell to us because there's lots of little things that happen in final walkthroughs. Most of them not really serious, kind of funny things, but nonetheless an important part of the transaction and the process. But we see it all.
Yeah, 99% of the time they go off without a hitch. But it's that 1% that it's very important, if you are a buyer, that you have your final walkthrough to make sure that there are no surprises.
Yeah.
So,
like a tenant that's sleeping.
Yes. If we can answer any questions for you, please reach out anytime. Thanks for watching our video and have a great day.